Hi guys, Logan here with another one of my kind of podcasty videos. Today I want to sit back, relax, and talk about Spirit Halloween and what I want to see from them this year. Pardon the echo and kind of the crappy sound quality. I'm in basically a giant metal box right now, so I'm going to be echoing. So bear with me here. I kind of want to do a little bit of background. I've done a lot of animatronic designs. I've designed animatronics and concepts. I did some for Roblox Spirit Halloween, which was an amazing experience. I've done some stuff for Friends, even voice acting for Friends. Phenomenal experience. That was that's really fun for me to do. I've had some other Roblox games that I've helped with and did some concepts for. I even did some concepts for an actual company called Underworldly Productions or Creations, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't remember. I'm not a part of that project anymore, nor will I ever will be a part of that project, and I kind of hope out of respect they don't try to use any of my concepts, though knowing the person who runs it, he probably will, just to spite me. But that's a whole different conversation and video for another day. That was probably my least favorite experience. The owner was just very difficult to work with, and I did not enjoy that whole experience. I would like to do a sort of sit down and talk about the industry and some advice that I have for any of just you kids out there that want to start your own Halloween company, because there definitely are some do's and don'ts, and I saw a lot of don'ts firsthand, and I would love to give a lot of you guys advice so everyone could be successful, because I want everyone to be successful in this field. I truly do, you know. So with that, I've done some animatronic designs. I even go out and I upcycle and I improve animatronics that I can find. I'm no KNT does Halloween. Sorry, that's an air compressor in the background. I'm no KNT. I'm not professional like that. They are phenomenal artists in their own right, and I have massive respect for them. Humongous respect for them. They are phenomenal artists. Love their work. But I do like to conceptualize different characters that I think the general public and the haunted community both would enjoy. I can't draw for shit. I'm not really going to draw any of these concepts or characters or anything, but I want to sit and talk about things I would like to see Spirit do. One thing, I know Spirit is going to do clowns. When I was at Transworld, I got to meet Gina Bowman. Wonderful person. Super kind, super polite. She was really just a fun person to be around. And Gina mentioned that, they're going to make things that sell. They're going to make characters that sell. The clowns. Clowns sell. People like clowns. Which I agree. I like clowns. I love clowns, I have every clown that came out last year, which wasn't even intentional. I just ended up buying them all. So, clowns. What would I do different with the clowns that I think would help them sell? First off, I would take them away from seasonal visions. And here's why. I like SVI. I do. But my problem is I feel like SVI's clowns are getting to the point where they all look the same. They all sound the same. SVI's clowns are starting to lose their spark. Fear Gus was kind of the best SVI clown we've gotten in years. But past that, I feel like they are just, they all look the same. And respect to Mike Reynolds and his team, but for SVI, I think they should do what they do best, which are the cemetery characters. I think they do really good cemetery characters and dolls. I want to see YJ pick up clowns. FU, especially FU, pick up more clowns, especially after Two Scoops. And Crazy Create pick up more clowns. I think those three companies usually are really solid companies. YJ has only done, to my knowledge, at least to my memory, one life-size clown, which was Bloody Bag of Jokes, and that is a fan favorite. And Bloody Bag is one of the strongest spirit clowns. And typically YJ is a pretty good company. I mean, they stumble here and there, but they are a relatively good company. I wholeheartedly think that YJ is a really good choice to go for a more unique and interesting clown. They have really interesting designs, really interesting sculpts. So YJ is a really good one. FU is such a new company. And with Two Scoops was a really good and really strong introduction to the company. Now, I know they also did Krampus and Caretaker. And Caretaker, I do also think was a good prop, cosmetic-wise. Like, the sculpt of the face was really good. It wasn't a strong character, but the sculpt was really good. FU is another one that has really strong sculpts and does really cool animatronics. I wholeheartedly think that Two Scoops was a really cool and really neat design and was really well done. It was pulled off phenomenally, and I want to see FU do more clowns because I'm starting to really like this company, and I want to see them grow, and I want to see more from them. And they do really unique and really interesting clowns. And then Crazy Create, so far, is my favorite spirit company when it comes to sculptural design. I point out with Henry, I was just going nuts with Henry. Henry had the coolest little details with the asymmetrical eyes and all these neat little details that they added into the sculpts. I was in love with. And I want to see them keep doing that with more clowns. I want to see them do more clowns. I have Harriet Hustle as well. And Harriet also has like a lot of neat little details with the cuts in her face. Again, like, that's really cool. And I want to see more animatronics like that. You know, I want to see Crazy Create keep creating clowns. Another company I guess I didn't really mention is Techie. I want to see more Techie clowns. Giggles was the first clown I feel like we've had in a while. And Giggles was actually a pretty strong prop. My only issue with Techie is their quality can be questionable at times, and I will take that into consideration. But again, Techie does have a really good design, and they do really cool props. Giggles, I like the unhinging jaw, and I liked how he transformed into a monster. He looked like a normal clown until he wasn't, and I thought that was a really interesting and really neat idea, and I wanted to see more of that. So if I were to design a clown, what would I do? So I did this concept for Roblox Spirit. I would do a ceiling mounted clown. It would look like he's crawling on his hands and knees, and he would mount similar to Betty, but you'd have to actually like properly screw him, or you would have some sort of some mounting bracket. It wouldn't necessarily be the most user friendly, and you could also mount him onto the wall if you so pleased, but he'd be more so designed to go on the ceiling. And it would almost look like he's like crawling on the ceiling, and his head would spin 180 degrees, and he would have a deformed face. I'm thinking either it'd be deformed or it'd be all carved up, and he would talk. And so he would talk facing away from you, and then his head would turn, and it would have the bone cracking noise. And then his voice would distort and sound all creepy and demonic. And then his head would spin another 180 to reset. That's what I would do. I would do something really twisted and really kind of messed up like that. Another one I did, this was a concept for Roblox Spirit. It was Acid Andy, and it was a clown that was hunched over, and his face was in a pie. You know, like you just smash his face into a pie. And that's something that's, you know, kind of a carnival cliche, you know, with the pie in a face trick. And he would have muffled laughter, and then his head would shoot up, and it almost looks like his face melted off. It's all gone, and it's just skeletal. And his arms eyes would be on a string, so it would just like roll out of the socket, and he'd be like laughing and giggling and be all kind of distorted sounding. And then, you know, he would reset and he would still be laughing. And as he goes down, the eyeball would slowly go right back into its socket. And then, you know, let's say just go right back into the pie. Those are clowns that I would do. Things that you don't see very, very often. Other things I would do besides clowns, plague doctors. We don't see plague doctors very often. Actual animated ones. I know we got the fogging one. The fogging one was okay, but I would prefer to have an animated one. Mummies. I want to see a mummy. Vampires. I want to see like the classic monsters make a return, because those are so cool and no one really does them. And it's like, come on, Spirit's always kind of the trendsetter, and people try to follow Spirit. Give us vampires and mummies and, you know, Frankenstein monsters and all that stuff. Those are props that people genuinely want to see, and it's like, they're cool. And it's just, come on, like it goes back to a lot of people's childhood, and it's just it's so neat, you know. Scientists, nurses, doctors, I want to see more of those. Dr. Walloon was a really nice addition. I just would not have WO touch another prop ever again, because Illume's mechanism was a mess. Miss Mercy, again, was a phenomenal addition, and I would be so happy to see Mercy make a return. Or not Mercy specifically, sorry. A prop like Mercy to make a return to Spirit, or something like Convulsing Nurse, or even something like Evil Scientist. I want more lab-esque props for Spirit. I want classic Reapers, but like that aren't generic, if that makes sense. I want to have a classic Reaper character, but conceptualized and maybe be a little more unique. That's a little different. You know, give us something new. Like the Ripping Reaper of Souls was really cool. Give us more Reapers like that, or even give us Jack the Reaper, your mascot. You know, that would be really cool, and a lot of hardcore Spirit fans would go nuts over that. What I don't want to see is 10-foot, 12-foot, 15-foot props. And here's why. Home Depot's got their own thing going on. And Party City and Lowe's are trying to hop on that right now. And Halloween Costumes also try to hop on that. And Sunstar. I don't think Spirit needs to hop on the giant-sized prop train. I think it's unnecessary. Let Home Depot have their own little trend. That's cool. Their trend's going to die out after a while. Spirit has been the biggest trendsetter in, you know, Halloween products. After Grimm, we're seeing more servo animatronics because Grimm was so popular. You know, I don't want to see them try to do the giant animatronics because it's just unnecessary for them. And I think it takes away from what makes Spirit so special, which is just Spirit's we make really cool things. We don't need to be like everyone else type of deal. They don't need to be like everyone else. They don't need to try to hop on all these trends. I want to see Spirit being the trendsetter. I want to see people scrambling to get be like the next Mr. Dark or whatever. You know, they had Mr. Dark and Grimm, two of the most advanced animatronics of their time. No one else has that. Closest thing we had was Inferno Reaper. He didn't have the servo eyes. All he had was a servo head and a moving torso. Grimm out here had servo eyes, servo head, a moving arm, and a moving torso. And then there was Mr. Dark, a scissor macaron animatronic that popped up to nearly 10 foot? 9-10 feet? That's incredible. Spirit is ahead of the game. You know, I don't want to see them trying to copy everyone else because they feel like they have to amount to whatever everyone else is trying to do. I don't think that's necessary for them. Spirit is doing great on their own. You know? Spirit's doing fantastic on their own. I just don't think that it's necessary for them to have to follow in everyone else's footsteps. I want to see Spirit do more interactive props. So Shotgun Blast and Feed the Clown Game. Those are both really interactive props. And I want them to not look so generic, you know. Neither one of them looked really great. You know, with an interactive prop, it has to be interesting and it has to look interesting. You have to just do something cool with it. You know, just have a little more fun with them. You know, they don't have to be as just plain and simple as you make them out to be. You can add a little more detail or a more interesting sculpt to them. But I would like to see more interactive props like those because those are really fun to see. I want to see more creative MIT props. Techie, I'm looking at you. I want to see tabletop animated props become more prevalent. I feel like we don't really get as many as we used to. Tabletops are really cool. People like tabletops. I love my tabletops. I want to get the tabletop toys again. I miss those, you know? And when I met with people from Techie, they were talking about how Spirit doesn't care about tabletops anymore. That's really dumb. People like their tabletops. The other store has a pretty wide selection of tabletops, and you guys are trying to get rid of yours? That's a really not smart idea. I don't know why you guys would do that. Bring back the tabletops. Seriously. Don't try to phase those out. I want to see more animatronics using more advanced technology, whether it be infrared, tripwire type sensors, or stuff like that. You know, that would be really neat to see. But I want to see more interesting animatronics like that, things with new mechanisms, things that we've never seen before. I want to see stuff like Henry Hustle, where it's a really well hidden jump scare where it's got some fake out mechanics where you think, oh, it's just a cute little guy, and then it scares the shit out of you. I want to see more of that. You know, there's definitely a lot I want to see from Spirit. I have really high expectations from Spirit now. And, you know, if they don't do everything I suggest, I'm not going to be mad or pissed at them, but, you know, they're moving in a really bold direction, and I simply want to watch them grow even more. The Spirit now is so much different than the Spirit back in 2012. You know, and I know it's kind of a dumb comparison, but I mean they've just grown so an insane amount, and it's amazing how much they've grown, truly. And how much the animatronics have advanced and how better they are. The designs and the animations. And, man, if you were to tell me, back in 2012 that we would have an animatronic like Mr. Dark, I would think you are yanking my chain, honestly. You know. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, leave a comment down below. What do you want to see Spirit Halloween do? And what kind of props do you want to see them do? I'm really interested to hear from you guys. There's definitely a lot more I want to see from Spirit, But I obviously can't just cram them all in one video. But, definitely, I want to hear from you guys. Yeah, that's really all. I feel like if we keep going, it's going to be like an hour-long video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.